Hey everybody, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be working on yet another Xbox Series X. This is another no power issue. These are a couple of years old now, well 3-4 years old now, and they are starting to show their true colours in terms of the reliability. I have quite a few of these in the queue at the minute. I've been working on quite a lot of them lately as well. So yeah, they do seem to be dying, and they do seem to be dying in spectacular fashion. I've had a few which I couldn't fix recently, unfortunately. So, with that being said, my name's Hakko, I'm an electronics technician. I mainly work on games consoles, but I do work on other stuff as well. So, if that's the sort of stuff you're into, be sure to get subscribed and turn on the bell notifications, and that way you don't miss any future videos. If you do want to organise a repair, you can get in touch with me at www.hakko.repair, where you can either book in the repair if you know roughly what it's going to cost, or you can book in a quote, or you can request a quote as well. So you can use the contact page, you can request a quote, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. The average cost for a no power repair is generally between £60 to £100, with an average price of around about £80. It just really depends on what's actually wrong with it, and until I actually get inside it and actually fix it, I don't know what's wrong with it. So it does suck a little bit, but that's just the way it is with repairs, especially when you get something as vague as a no power, because it can be a number of things. So with that being said, let's get into today's video. Today's video is sponsored by PCBWay. Whether you've got a simple project that requires a quick mod board, or you want to launch your own products to the world, PCBWay can help. With fantastic pricing on multi-layer PCBs, flex PCBs, 3D printing, and even laser cutting solutions, you're sure to get everything you need all in one place. Custom PCBs start from just $5 for a 1 to 2 layer board, with a fast 24-hour build time and free shipping on orders over $30. PCBWay are also proud to announce their new aluminium PCBs, which start at just $120 per square metre. Check out what PCBWay have to offer by clicking on the link in the video description or the top pinned comment, and get your project started today. Thanks again to PCBWay for sponsoring the video. Let's get back to the repair. Okay, so the customer got in touch about this and asked me for a quote. Obviously I'll give a rough quote of between £60 to £100 for it, but I couldn't give an exact quote, but the customer seems happy with the quote range anyway. I'd generally give a quote range because, like I said, we never know what's wrong with it until we actually work on it, and unfortunately we don't know if what we think is wrong with it is going to fix it until we actually fix it. So it kind of sucks. But that being said, this is a complete no power by the looks of it. So that can be, like I said, down to a number of things. It can be something as simple as a power supply. It can be something like a MOSFET has failed, or it can be a capacitor on the board, something like that. But yeah, we're going to see what we can do about getting it fixed. So if you're not subscribed, don't forget to subscribe, turn on the bell notifications, all of that good stuff. It does turn out around about 60% of the people who watch these videos are not subscribed. So I would really appreciate it if you do hit subscribe and give the video a thumbs up if you enjoy it as well. It does massively help me out. So anyway, enough shilling. I'm going to drop my hot air down to 180 degrees Celsius, just so I can remove this sticker. So I want to remove the sticker fairly safely without damaging it if I can, because I like to be able to put these back to how they came to me, you know, in terms of the sticker. You're always going to be able to tell that it's been opened, but, you know, if I can get it back together with an undamaged sticker, that's better, because if I put a warranty sticker on, it'll be underneath the base. It won't be visible to, you know, the naked eye. You'd have to take this base off to be able to see the warranty sticker. I'll do that just because it ruins the aesthetics of it when it's got one of my custom warranty stickers on it. You know, any custom warranty sticker, anything that's not natural from factory, it ruins the aesthetics, and if I can, I like to hide them. Not to hide it from the customer or anything, just to hide it so as it's not, you know, an eyesore or anything. But yeah, I'm going to get this apart. I'm going to fast forward through this. I don't want to make you sit there and watch me take it apart. If you do need to see how to take these apart, they are relatively straightforward, but iFixit, not sponsored, but iFixit do have some pretty good teardown guides and stuff on their website. So just Google Xbox Series X teardown guide and you'll find it. And if anyone from iFixit's watching, bloody sponsor me. I'm sick of Sicky, you're not giving me money. Thank you. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to get this apart. I'm going to fast forward through this bit, and I'll pick it up when I am ready for some fault finding. Alright, so we are pretty much ready for fault finding now. So the first thing I'm going to want to do then with this is I'm going to want to check and see if we've got any shorts on either of the 12 volt rails. So the 12 volt rail is basically what comes from the power supply into the board. So we've got a 12 volt rail here, and that's on the Southbridge board, so the secondary board. And then we've got a 12 volt rail here, which is on the APU board. So the way that these are built is there's two boards and they're connected by this 80 pin connector just here, and there's a 12 volt rail on each of them. Now the main power rails are handled by this top board, the Southbridge board. So 12 volt goes in, it goes to the different chips, mainly the Southbridge, and that sends out the different voltage rails, and it obviously transfers through this 80 pin connector here. So what we want to do is we want to just see, well, first of all we want to try and isolate whether there's a, well, try and determine whether there's a 12 volt short. If there's no 12 volt short, then we want to try and figure out which board is at fault. If the APU board is at fault, then the Southbridge will turn on just by applying 12 volts to it and pressing the button. So we can check that. If the Southbridge board's at fault, then it won't turn on. So yeah, let's just have a look. So I'm going to grab my multimeter probes, pop those in. There we are. And I'm going to go into continuity mode on my multimeter and just check for a 12 volt short first, just there. And we don't get a beep, so there's no short on that board. There is a short on that board, okay. So there's a 12 volt short on the APU board, so it's very unlikely that this board is going to be faulty. Now the bad thing about that is the fact that the 12 volt short on the APU board is normally down to a MOSFET, and the problem with that is figuring out which MOSFET, because there's loads of them and it can take forever. I actually did one the other day and it went from a complete no power to a beep on beep off, and I spent 3 hours trying to work on that one. So yeah, it's not always good news, so yeah, we'll have to wait and see anyway. Now, one thing we do want to do is we just want to see if the Southbridge board is working. So what I'll do is I'll connect up the Nexus connector to this. So this goes like, let me just get rid of these for a second. Let's pop in the 12 volt connector. So I'll connect that up to there. Rather than taking this Nexus board out, I'm just going to, well, try and connect it up so as I can test the power button. Pain in the backside to get this in and out, this Nexus board. So I'd rather just do it like this, and then if I just pop my power cable in there, like so, it should beep if this board is working. Let's have a look. Yeah, okay, so the light does come on and it turns straight back off. So the Southbridge board appears to be working. So that's one thing we've done, is verified that. And we've definitely got a short on the 12 volt rail here. So let's get this board off then. So let's just remove this ribbon, because that does get in the way. Be very careful removing this, because people keep breaking these connectors. I mean, I don't mind, because consolefix.shop sells them. But there's actually a button there, like a little clip, what you can press in to get the connector out. Okay, so this console's never been opened. So what that means is that we're going to have a lot of pressure on this APU board. Yeah, my screwdriver's even struggling to get it out, to unscrew it. And that's a pretty powerful screwdriver. Yeah, so we're going to have a lot of pressure on this board because of the suction that's been created by the thermal paste and stuff. And also the viscous paste as well. So you just got to be careful when you're taking these apart that you don't bend the board or anything like that. Just work your way around if it's the first time it's being taken apart. There we are. So just to verify then, we'll test there to there, and yep, that is a 0.2 ohm short, and that 0.2 ohms is probably down to the resistance in the leads. We do have a dead short on the 12-volt rail. So let's pop it under the microscope and we'll take a look and see if we can see anything obvious first. So a lot of the time you'll see a crack on a capacitor or something. Nope, that's just a pube. I thought it was a crack. What about that one? Nope, more pubes. Okay, yeah, so a lot of the time you'll see like a crack in a capacitor or something like that, and that'll basically give you an indicator. So let's just inspect it. These caps around here fail quite often. No, unfortunately not. So it could be one of these caps, even though we can't see any cracks or anything. It could be these caps here. It could be the MOSFET here, like one of these MOSFETs. Well, this is what I mean. Like the amount of MOSFETs on here, it's very hard to determine what the cause is going to be. Let's just inspect this area as well, because this is another 12-volt rail. So I'm just looking for, like cracked capacitors and stuff first. See if I can see anything obvious, rather than digging any deeper if I can help it. There. That looks like it's bulging, that capacitor. So, could be that. Yeah, that cap does not look good. It looks like it's broken down. Okay. Oh yeah, that cap has definitely gone bad. Yeah, that's burnt. Alright, this might be an easy fix. I'm going to regret saying that, aren't I? A little bit of flux there. I'm going to set my hot air up at 448 degrees Celsius. 40% airflow. I'm just going to remove this capacitor. In fact, I'm going to go hotter. I'm going to go to 480 because this is a high temperature area. By that I mean there's a massive ground plane and it sucks up all the heat. Okay, here's the question. Is that capacitor short to ground? Or is it short? Is it, has it gone bad? So a capacitor should not have continuity. Yep. It's definitely crapped itself. Okay, has the short on the 12-volt rail gone? So to test that, we can check from one side of this connector to the other. Yes, it has. Is it really that simple? Okay, so let's just add a little bit of leaded solder to this. There we are. And I've got myself a donor board right here. Add some flux. Just to make it a little bit easier, I'm going to just add some leaded solder. Okay, so I'm going to remove this capacitor from a donor board. I did just add some leaded solder to this, but it was out of focus. There we are. So there's my donor capacitor. I'm just going to solder this here. I had the capacitor in the wrong orientation, so making life a little bit difficult for myself, but whatever. There we are. Just going to clean up this little bit of flux here. Just like that. And yeah, there we go. There was my donor board. So yeah, it could really be that simple. Let's just double check, make sure that we don't have a short anymore. We do not. Excellent. That is great news. Okay, let's clean up the thermal paste on this. So whenever I repair a console, doesn't matter what I do to it, if I've got to go inside that console at all, the last thing I'll do before I put it back together is clean it. Now, I won't give it a full clean, as in, you know, I won't give it a deep clean, unless it's a service which is being paid for. So if someone pays me to service a console, or if they say, can you deep clean it, then yeah, absolutely, I'll deep clean it. But what I always do is make 100% sure that the console is not going to overheat when it gets back to the customer. And it should be good for another 12 to 18 months before it needs a service, I mean. So what I'll do is I'll just break up this old thermal paste as best I can, as quick as I can. And there we are. And obviously we need to do the same for the heatsink as well. Just get rid of this thermal paste. And there we go. Okay, so I'll put some fresh thermal paste down. I use MX4, which is this stuff here. I don't use MX5 or 6 because it's too runny for my liking. So I'll just stick to the MX4, which is tried and tested. And now I can just clean up the rest of the console as best I can and get it all back together. Right, okay, so that is done. The only thing that's left to do now before I put it all fully back together is just give it a test. So let's just pop the power cable in. And let's turn it on. It turns on. So it needs a clean on the outside and stuff. There's some dust and viscous paste and stuff picked up off it, but they all get cleaned before they get sent back out anyway, so that's absolutely fine. That is turning on. Let's just make sure that it displays. And there we go. That is one working console. That's what I'm talking about. There we go. We have another working console. I've only been recording for 47 minutes, and in that 47 minutes, I've taken apart the console, I've tested it, repaired it, put it all back together, apart from 2 screws and a warranty sticker and the base, and I also fed Bobby. Bobby is literally under my desk right now, fast asleep. For those of you that don't know, I have a random cat that turns up every night for some food. I know you shouldn't feed stray cats and stuff, but I can't help it. I'm a cat lover. But yeah, Bobby's asleep under the desk right now. He spends the night sometimes, so it looks like he'll probably spend the night tonight. It's pretty cold outside, so I don't mind. I leave the window open so, you know, he can get out if he needs to, but obviously I have to lock the workshop up and stuff. But if he doesn't want to wake up and bugger off, then I'll just lock the door and he can get out the window whenever he wants to. So with that being said, this console is repaired. I'm sure when I wake up in the morning and call the customer, I mean, it's 2:42 AM right now, so when I wake up and call the customer in the morning, I'm pretty sure he'll be more than happy with the result. So just for reference here, I will be charging the minimum quote that I quoted, the minimum amount that I quoted, which would be £60. So that's £60 plus then I'd have to charge obviously the return shipping costs, which is either £8 or £17 in the UK, depending on which method the customer wants, either tracked or special delivery. So with that being said, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you do need to organise this repair or any other, get in touch at thecody.repair. The links will all be in the video description. But yeah, super happy with this. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care everyone. Bye for now.